Let's go live, shall we? No guests tonight, just me and you guys hanging out. And me fixing wires on my desk. This is we're gonna, instead of just doing the news, I think tonight I'm going to fix the wires on my desk at the same time. I think that's and then hit the microphone to make it very awkward for everyone who's listening. How's everybody doing tonight? Make sure you say hello in the chat. We're going to go through a couple of stories here pretty soon. Glad that you're all joining me this evening. We are hanging out here on X, on Rumble, and on YouTube tonight. I've decided to click on those buttons again to reconnect to those accounts. We're also going to have an audio version here pretty soon. That's going to be coming up. I believe that's going to be on the old the Daily Signal. So we're going to have a good time here. I'm going to pin this to my profile. If you guys are having a good time tonight, make sure you hit the retweet button for me and say hello in the chat. As always, I'm glad you're here with me. Let's get to the news in a second. Just want to tell you about, well, actually, you know what? Let's start with the news. I believe I can pull this up. Yeah. So I want to talk about this. This happened just behind my house, and it's horrifying. Here in Grapevine. So it turns out, this is Fox 4 reporting this. And I'll do my little, let's flip this way. There we go. It turns out that the Grapevine Lake jet ski hit and run suspects had a suitcase packed at the time of arrest. This is unbelievable. I want to watch this report. We'll react to it at the same time. Hopefully let's make sure that we have the 15 seconds of advertising for something that I don't get paid for. So look at this, Track and Field, Crown Awards. Obviously, I've been buying things from B&H and Crown Awards. Rewards here. All right, here we go.
During a news conference this morning, investigators released more details about the arrests for a deadly hit and run on Grapevine Lake Memorial Day weekend. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager.
By the way, this is an illegal alien who was out on the lake on a jet ski. By the way, do you guys have jet skis to ride around on? Because I don't personally have a jet ski for Grapevine Lake, but illegal immigrants did.
I'm Heather Hayes. Law enforcement officials say hundreds of tips poured in leading to those arrests. They also confirmed
I retweeted that. I retweeted, as many of you did, the image of that sick piece of shit that went out and ran over a Air Force cadet.
Suspects were in the country illegally. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joins us now with more. Alex.
Hey guys, and at a news conference held here at the Grapevine Police Department, an ICE official confirms to us that the two suspects are Venezuelan nationalists who came into this country illegally.
Again, I mean, how many illegals, millions of illegals, now they're just in here killing people on the lake behind my house. They're killing people. They're killing people in everybody's neighborhoods. Drink some bourbon, it'll make life better. Listen, it does, Emmett, but I'm not drinking right now. Hello, Doing Dave Things. How you doing tonight? If you're in the chat, make sure you say hello. Hit the retweet button if you're enjoying this. As always, let's go back to the story, and this is Fox 4.
We also learned from an arrest warrant affidavit that Ring camera video sent in by a tipster, as well as facial recognition software and previous police reports, helped investigators identify and locate the suspects.
So in case you guys are wondering, Grapevine Lake, right behind my house, there's rows of, we actually almost bought a home back there. Thank God we didn't, because Al's not here anymore. But we almost bought a home back there on the lake, and it's gorgeous back there. But there's homes with tons of security back there, as they should have, and that apparently helped catch this illegal.
Caroline Gonzalez and Michael Perozo remain in jail Wednesday, charged in connection to the death of 18-year-old Ava Moore. Gonzalez allegedly hit 18-year-old Moore with a jet ski while the teen was kayaking on Grapevine Lake over Memorial Day weekend. Moore died from her injuries. At a news conference, Captain Joseph Quintero said state law requires that all watercraft stay at least 50 feet away from other vessels or the shoreline.
Obviously, if they had...
Yes. Wow. Great. I'm glad that they really covered that. They really had to cover that. All vessels have to stay 50 feet away from the shoreline or other vehicles. Yeah. Don't hit other vehicles. That's a legal term. Don't hit other vehicles when you're on the water.
Applied that law as they were supposed to, this incident wouldn't have happened.
Jesus Christ. This guy is such a lib. Listen. And I'll just leave the play button over him here. Here's a guy who, I swear to God, like, there's an illegal alien in the country. These two illegals, they're on Grapevine Lake on jet skis, and they hit a person. And this fucker goes out from Grapevine Police and says, well, if they just would have been obeying the laws, if they just would have been following the law, the watercraft law, and stayed 50 feet away from the other people, then no one would have died. Shut up. How about if they weren't here illegally? How about if they weren't given the privilege of being here illegally and had the money to go get jet skis? Well, if they would have been following the law and avoided other vehicles 50 feet away or whatever it is, shut up.
Quintero says it's unclear if alcohol played a role in the incident. Investigators are also working to determine who owned the jet ski. Moore was a recent U.S. Air Force Academy preparatory school graduate. Immediately after her death at the lake, a witness shared a photo of the suspect with Texas game wardens who released it to the public. Witnesses told police the jet ski operator was able to elude bystanders and ran to an older model blue Toyota Corolla where a Hispanic male was yelling at her to hurry up and get into the car. The driver, later identified as Perozzo, admitted to police after his arrest that he hit other vehicles while fleeing from the lake and that eventually he pulled over and ran away with Gonzalez.
They should both get life in jail. They should both get life in jail. He knows what she did. He knows what she did, and he's an accessory after the fact. They should both get life in jail. At the very least, life in jail. And I can't believe that people let them get away. I cannot believe that people let them get away.
Police say they received around 900 tips from the community and also used facial recognition software and police reports from other agencies to confirm the suspect identities. Included in the arrest warrant were these two photos of the suspects taken after the deadly encounter. Fox 4 was there on Tuesday when the duo was arrested Tuesday morning at a home in the Oak Cliff neighborhood of Dallas. Both are Venezuelan nationals who entered the country illegally.
It's my understanding both.
Her fucking name is Gonzalez.
Both individuals crossed the southern border in 2023 or 2024. They were arrested at the time of entry, processed for a notice to appear. And then released on their own recognizance.
The life of an Air Force cadet was taken, of a good girl was taken, because the fucking Biden administration arrested this trash at the border and then just released them into America.
The arrest report states that Perozzo told authorities he helped Gonzalez escape to keep her from being captured for the deadly collision. It also states that both suspects were hiding in the house with a packed suitcase as they intended not to return for some time. A victim services advocate read a statement on behalf of the Moore family, who says they are grateful for the outpouring of support.
This is a difficult time for all involved, but also an opportunity for our beautiful girl to continue to impact our community. Out of this tragedy, God will make good, and that only can be accomplished through forgiveness.
I don't forgive people who murder people. I don't forgive the Biden. I don't know where the chat is tonight. A couple thousand people watching. I don't know where the chat is. Chat, say hello if you're in the chat. Where's everybody? Doing Dave Thinks can't be the only person that's here. I know that. I can see the numbers. I know that there's more people watching. Say hello. Again, it's just me. I don't forgive people who murder people. I don't forgive the Biden administration for allowing these illegals to cross the border, caught them, released them, and then allowed them to murder someone. I think everyone in that chain of custody, anyone who made decisions along the line, should be just as guilty. Hi, Tammy Earls. Here we go. I'll say hello to everybody in the chat. I just think that everybody who's involved in allowing these illegals to go, when illegals commit a crime like this, should be held accountable at the same level. At the same level. I don't. Again, like if we want equal justice, if we want things to change in this country, see, a lot of people didn't know there was a chat. How about that? There's a chat. You can find it and get involved. But I think anybody who allows, I'm tired of seeing this reporter, allows illegals into this country, anybody along that chain of custody of those people that could have turned them around, that could have saved that life, I think they should be held just as accountable. And I know that might sound extreme, but at this point, I think it's warranted.
So Gonzalez is charged with second-degree manslaughter. Meanwhile, Perozo is charged with accident involving injury as well as hindering apprehension. Now they'll face those state charges before being turned over, I'm told, to immigration authorities. Back to you.
Right, and Alex, the governor actually posted a response to the arrest on X saying, "Welcome to Texas. Here is your death penalty."
Yeah, so that is interesting. It's not a capital murder case, right? So does that indicate that he's encouraging law enforcement to try to upgrade the charges, or is that even possible at this point? What are you hearing?
They can.
So it's interesting, you know, that post came out just before the news conference this morning. So reporters asked the captain who is there representing game wardens about that tweet, that post, I should say. And he said in response that he reiterated again that Gonzalez is charged with manslaughter at this point, and he did not offer any further comment. However, afterwards, I did speak with a criminal defense attorney not involved in this case about the governor's post, and here's what he had to say.
I think that's just political.
They found the fattest,
if you will.
All right, I don't care what this guy has to say. He's clearly a liberal. I think it's just political, says a man whose angle, goddamn, like I'm losing weight, but maybe other people should do the same. All right, let's go to the Greg Abbott. Abbott. It's Governor Abbott. Press. Why is this so hard to do? Greg Abbott. Here we go. Did he tweet? Yes, here we go. So here's Greg Abbott. Welcome to Texas. Here's your death penalty. Well, we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. What do we got here? What do you, Tim? Do you think the massive X response to Speaker Johnson, Speaker and Leader Thune promoted vote to send a recession? Probably. What's the penalty for being illegal and now a U.S. criminal? Well, what the problem is, Tammy, is that I feel like we're going to have liberal prosecutors. And I really hope this is brought in Tarrant County. I think this is going to be brought in Tarrant County. And if it is, we've got really, really good judges here. I actually almost served on a capital case. I just threw away my jury card the other day because why would I keep it sitting around on my desk? But we have really, really good judges. Unfortunately, I feel like in this case, and in a lot of these illegals cases, they will be charged and then they will be deported. And they may not face the sentences that they deserve. And it bothers me. It bothers me, I'll be honest with you, it really bothers me that this happened just behind my house. That this happened literally a half of a mile behind my house. And when I live in North Texas, so it shouldn't shock me that illegal alien crime has made it here. But it still does. You know, because you don't think it'll happen to you. It was sort of like when I was robbed at gunpoint years ago, right? You didn't think it was I didn't think it would ever happen to me. I know that it happened to other people, but I never thought it would happen to me. And so it's hard to digest that still. It's hard to consider like that it's right behind us. But I do, again, I trust the judges here, but I don't know that those people will serve any time in a jail in America. And also, I really just, I don't feel like Greg Abbott's, you know, he's just saying some stuff there. So what's this here saying? You think he was actually waiting for us to go off about it and how to show the representative? No, I don't know. You know, this kind of stuff. I'll tell you, doing Dave things, it's exhausting to me. There shouldn't be any political games at all. Like these cuts should have been codified immediately. The pardons that happened today, why did they take so long to happen? Because there was a really, really good pardon today. And we'll go over to this story. Let me make him the big photo there. Can I blow this up? Yeah, I should learn how to use Twitter at some point, shouldn't I? So President Trump pardoned this man today. It's Mark Bashal, Lieutenant Mark Bashal, who he basically was court-martialed and lost his job and his credentials for refusing to wear a face mask or following COVID rules. I mean, this is crazy to me. I'm glad that Trump pardoned him. It took 5 months. Wish it would have happened sooner. I wanted to read the story today. This just came out not long ago. This is an actual breaking story. I know this is a crazy, crazy concept. Here's a let's make this so you guys can see it. How about that? You know what I really like? Non-auto playing videos. All right. So the State Department will aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students. Marco Rubio said the revocations will include students with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or those studying in critical fields. This makes a lot of sense to me. Written by Alexandra Koch. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced Wednesday that it will begin aggressively revoking visas of Chinese students because basically they've been infiltrating our country with these visas. The CCP has been pushing their students into this country and their agents into this country guised as students. And I think that this will actually make a significant difference and help protect our country. It should bother us that these students are in this country. By the way, I love how many ads there are here. And of course, for B&H Photo, because I bought a computer for my assistant the other day. Under President Trump's leadership, the U.S. State Department will work with the Department of Homeland Security to aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields, Rubio wrote in a statement. The State Department will also revise visa criteria to enhance scrutiny for all future visa applications from the People's Republic of China and Hong Kong. In March, the House Republicans introduced the Stop Chinese Communist Prying by Vindicating Intellectual Safeguards in Academia Act, CCP. BVIS. Oh, see. Okay, so see, hold on. Or notice the Stop CCP Visas Act, because there's big business. I just put it. I didn't see this part because I wasn't reading fast enough. So I literally said, let's see, stop, and then so how they create these acts, I believe, is they come up with the acronym first. And then they come up with the name. So the Stop Chinese Communist Prying by Vindicating Intellectual Safeguards in Academia Act, or the Stop Visas Act. In an interview with Fox Business, May 12th, U.S. Senator Ashley Moody criticized providing student visas to Chinese nationals, citing a Stanford University report that uncovered the Chinese Communist Party's alleged activity on U.S. college campuses. The report, published by the Stanford Review, detailed an incident in which a young man posing as a Stanford student targeted women at the university to gather intelligence for the Chinese Ministry of State Security. What? A man posing as a Stanford student targeted women at the university. I mean, are we sure in this instance? Look, I know the CCP is bad, and I know they're spying on us, and I know they're a clear and present danger. But are we sure that guy in particular wasn't just like using communist money to go try to date women, and he's like, oh, I gather intelligence? A man posing as a Stanford student targeted women to gather intelligence. What is he like? What women was he gathering intelligence from? Was this a striking Chinese man that was picking up ladies? Last I checked, they have trouble picking up women in America. So I don't know. How can we keep offering 300,000 student visas to Chinese nationals every year when we know they're illegally required to gather intelligence for the CCP? The answer is simple. We can't, Moody wrote in a post on X. Stanford Review's report on CCP espionage on campus should shock everyone and verify what I've been saying. We need to pass my Stop CCP Visas Act to protect national security. I cannot get enough right now of the ad. Do you guys see the bouncing hats? We do need to ban acronyms. You're right, Jim Bob. You see the bouncing hat? Nothing says Tim Young has been shopping for hats on newera.com. Literally. Again, like there have been conservative influencers who, I wish they would have left that picture up there, who have had like gay cruises and stuff pop up. And mine is like, are you still looking for Mets hats on newera.com? Here they are, jumping on the side of the screen. Because I was looking at Mets hats the other day. Along with the new Chinese national policy, Rubio announced new visa restrictions Wednesday on foreigners complicit in censoring Americans. There's a B&H Photo ad. If you'd like to get a 22% off computer. Teenage photo. For too long, Americans have been fined, harassed, or even charged by foreign authorities for exercising their free speech rights. Rubio wrote in a post today, I'm announcing a new visa restriction policy that will apply to foreign officials and persons who are complicit in censoring Americans. That's cool. Free speech is essential to the American way of life, a birthright over which foreign governments have no authority. Damn right. The White House did not immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment. I feel like that's an easy request for comment. Maybe they were just busy. Maybe it was happy hour when they reached out. And there's Alexandra Koch. Yeah, so State Department says it will aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students. And also, the New Era really wants me to buy a hat. Look, see, they're bouncing there. See that? The Giants hat. Looks like a grandma's couch. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. What do you guys think about it? I really like the concept of banning Chinese nationals from our colleges. That's where they're infiltrating. Also, we should probably check the butts of congressmen that they're infiltrating. We know, for instance, that Fang infiltrated Eric Swalwell's butt and probably got national security from him. Some information. But I don't believe, was that ever actually investigated? Does anybody know if that was ever actually investigated? Did anyone actually ever investigate Eric Swalwell and his relationship with the Chinese spy? I don't think so. I don't think so. What else happened in the news today? While we're talking about that. Oh, here's an interesting, a little nugget. Do you know Tesla stock has been up ever since Tim Walsh talked about the stock going down? It's gone up about $100, I believe, since Tim Walsh said it was going down. This is from Doge Designer. Always spiking the football on Tesla numbers. But yeah, Tim Walsh, remember he was still going on. Are they still pushing Tim Walsh on a speaking tour? They just formed a committee. Oh, did they? Oh, good for them. They're going to get that. Is that what they did when Eric Swalwell just formed a committee? We're going to have a committee. We're going to write a strongly worded letter. We're going to get it together. We're going to get it together. We are going to listen, Americans. You just hang in there. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Has anybody ever made a supercut of Lindsey Graham saying he's going to get to the bottom of it? Oh, let me see if they've ever done that. Because that would be really fun, wouldn't it? Lindsey Graham supercut. Would there ever be a Lindsey Graham supercut? Supercut shows why Lindsey Graham is the most shameless man in American politics. Nah, it's from a liberal. I just like it when he always, he goes on Hannity all the time and he says, he's going to get to the bottom of it. Democrats being investigated. That's hilarious. Actually, it's a funnier joke than anything I could come up with. Why would they be investigated? I was on the show, Chris Salcedo show this morning, and we were talking about whether or not Ilhan Omar or any of these other crooks are ever going to get investigated. And he brings up the same point that I do all the time, that the House Republicans went after, let me take this, the House Republicans went after George Santos. I always bring this up. Look, George Santos, prolific liar, not a great fellow. Should he have been expelled from Congress? I mean, he's a convicted felon now because the left really hated him. But should he, compared to all the insider trading, compared to when you talk about people lying about their past and fraudulently representing their past, who lied more about their career? Was it George Santos or was it Joe Biden? I argue that it was Joe Biden. Joe Biden has blatantly lied more publicly about his past than George Santos. Now, I challenge anybody to look at those statistics, but I fully believe that that's what happened. Now, under that circumstance, do we believe that George Santos should have been expelled from Congress? I don't think so. If George Santos was a Democrat, would the Democrats have expelled him from Congress? And the answer is no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, Ilhan Omar. So that's the thing. This is... Thanks, Tammy. Thanks for agreeing with me. Look, I'm not saying George Santos is a good guy. But I'm saying if George Santos was a Democrat, would he have been expelled from Congress? The answer is no. The answer is no. If George Santos would have done... Again, I think it was just because he was so flamboyant about it, and there's nothing not flamboyant about George Santos. But If he was anyone else, would he have been expelled from Congress? No. And why did, there are so few people expelled from Congress. Why him? There are people who have been, look at Ted Kennedy, who was in the Senate. Should he have been expelled for his crimes in the past? That little car accident? Should he have been allowed to be there? Should, Nancy Pelosi with her insider trading? Should Ilhan Omar with her immigration scheme to marry her brother to get him over in an immigration scheme? Should Eric Swalwell with his dating a Chinese spy? Should Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I believe she had Indian spies or Pakistani spies in her office that were hacking things when she was in leadership? Dianne Feinstein had for 30 years, had a Chinese CCP spy in her office. I believe it was her driver. Adam Schiff, who has lied blatantly. If we're expelling people for lying, Adam Schiff still has all of the evidence for the Russiagate. That guy he's been there forever. He's got all of the evidence that we could possibly need to prove Russiagate, right? He said he's got the smoking gun. He's ready to send Trump to jail. What happens with that lie? Hello, Muhammad. Why are these people not in jail? Why is it just George Floyd? Well, that's pretty... I would say, okay, so to be fair, all of Congress should be expelled from Congress. I will agree, Jim Bob, to a point. I think there are still some good ones. Hey, I want to do this because I really liked my video the other day. I hate watching myself right now, by the way. I am in the process of losing a lot of weight. But in that journey, I want to watch the video I did the other day with a really good, really good interview with Brandon Gill. But before I do that, hold on. Let's get you angry. The other day on The View, actually today on The View, our buddy Nick Fontecaro. I should ask him that. He brought up, he's got this incredible thread. He's over at MRC. Incredible thread from this guy. Where he's talking about all the times that Joe Biden was praised by The View for him pardoning his son. But today, when Donald Trump pardoned the Chrisleys and a few other people, boy, it's not normal to do pardons, and suddenly it's all bad. Here we go. Well, here's Whoopi Goldberg, most intelligent person on television. I think the Ozempics got into her head.
Yes, sir, because this is the law and order president. Or people already numb to this?
Well, according to this administration, if you are a reality star with a lot of money and a tax cheat and you commit fraud, then that's good. We're going to give you a pardon. But poor people on Medicaid or food stamps, okay?
This makes no fucking sense, by the way. But poor people on food stamps. Yeah, he's pardoning people who he believed that, and again, the Chrisleys are pretty conservative and political, and they were sentenced to years and years and years in jail for tax fraud. But she's somehow comparing it to poor people on food stamps.
Okay.
She hasn't even said anything. She hasn't even said anything, and the audience just like, yay! Poor people on food stamps, and the old hags in the audience. By the way, that audience has to smell like cats, mothballs, and piss.
This administration, those are the real moochers in the country, and that they have to be taken off of health care or food stamps. Americans need to understand what's going on. That's what's going on. Somebody like this guy, Chrisley, whatever his name is, I never saw the show. I've only seen clips where he's running around being rich. He gets let off the hook. But somebody like, anybody that we might know who needs help doesn't get the help from this administration.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. I would, again, this is somebody who is like, this is like, I don't even know if this is gaslighting. This is just rambling because it's incoherent. You're talking about a political pardon. You have to remember, Joe Biden pardoned his entire family. He pardoned so many people in his family. There are members of his family I didn't even know existed that he pardoned. He pardons, again, there's so many people that I didn't even know they existed. And Donald Trump pardons the Chrisleys and a few other folks today. And she's like, there are people on food stamps who aren't getting their money. And by that, of course, she means illegal aliens who are getting cut off the system, and they should, because I don't want my tax dollars paying them. Americans who are in need are getting their needs fulfilled. But again, this doesn't even make sense. He'll pardon people, but he won't. He'll take food stamps away from people. No, he's not.
Administration.
Again, the cat piss. When they wave their arms, the old hags in the audience. I'm not talking about the ones on The View here. But when the old hags in the audience start waving their arms, the piss smell from the cats has got to be going everywhere.
Your question was, is anybody going to have a problem with this? And I sure as hell do. And then I think one of the things we as Americans have to do is not normalize this.
This one, Ana Navarro, she would have a problem if Trump cured cancer. He wouldn't have done it properly. It doesn't matter what he does. Every person on this show, it doesn't matter what he does. These millionaires on this show will pretend that they help out poor people and care. And they will knock everything that Donald Trump does.
And not get accustomed to this and not allow this to continue to happen, because this is not normal. This is not normal. We can't let this continue to happen. Again, all these ladies, they are a walking ad for Ozempic. Boy, I hope the side effects don't hit them. Maybe Ozempic makes your brain shrink too. They don't have much to lose there, but This is not honest. This is not ethical.
This is not honest. This isn't ethical. Fucking Joe Biden pardoned his entire family to the point that he pardoned people that we'd never heard of before. They were like Stevie Biden from, whatever. He's pardoned like generations of people that we have never even heard the name of before because they are so corrupt. He pre-pardoned his entire family. From whatever, just blanket pardon. Blanket pardon of Hunter Biden for 11 years. I don't want to hear any complaints about pardons in this being. Like, again, these are the same people who were silent when that happened. Other than maybe they were like, oh, he loves his son. Oh, what a the Republicans are mocking a father's love for his son. How dare they? How dare they mock a father's love when he was pardoning his son? Yeah, I would love to see their tax returns too. Correct, Michael Cook Sr. I'd love to see their tax returns. Remember when Rachel Maddow actually broke Donald Trump's tax returns? She found them from somewhere. Somebody leaked them from a certain year, and it turned out that year Donald Trump actually paid a higher percentage of taxes than both Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Do you remember that? It really blew the whole thing out of the water. I would love to see these people's tax returns.
Basically, there is a huge for sale sign on the lawn of the White House. Yep. And
again, these fuckers were silent when Biden pardoned everybody in his family to the point that we learned new names of the Biden family from the pardon.
If you are
like, who is that? They got a pardon too? What do they do? Hundreds of LLCs or whatever it was that they had.
A supporter. If you are a donor, then you can buy pardons. And it's not just coming in a vacuum, right? This is coming at the same time that he's accepting a $400 million jet from the Qataris, at the same time that he's got a crypto grift that puts anything else, just everything else pales in comparison.
And his children, too.
His children as well. His wife, the $40 million documentary from Amazon. I mean...
Hey, remember when Melania got a documentary from Amazon? Cool. Remember when the Obamas signed for, what was it, $250 million with Netflix? You remember that? No? Susan Rice? No, nobody had that.
It just goes on and on. The profiteering we are seeing from Trump and his family from the presidency has no precedence and
has no precedence. The profiteering. I mean, look, he's not raking. Number one, he hasn't made any money. He doesn't take a salary. The guy's, again, like, he's the only person to ever lose money as president of the United States is Donald Trump. But we're going to gloss over the 10 for the big guy and all the deals that Hunter Biden had?
And not be accepted or normalized by the American people.
God bless Nick Fondacaro, by the way. This guy, I really hope at MRC. Yeah, right? Like the auto pen was just pardoning everybody. God bless MRC and Nick Fondacaro. I need to have him back on the show. I was hanging out with him the other day over at their new at their headquarters with David Bozell. And actually, I'm going to be on Media Research's cruise. It's coming up at the end of August. It's really cool. But this guy, Nick Fondacaro over at MRC, if you're not following him, you need to. I shout him out because he has to watch this shit all day and clip it and put it online. And like, ain't none of us watching it. Nope. But that man who has, God bless him, he's got Lego sets on his, hold on, I just want to, can we just, let me, before I do any more, I should get him on here, by the way. Shame on me. This guy, let me, hold on. I want to, let's get him full, I want to get him. I have to, I should have pulled up a better picture of him there. But Nick Fondacaro, this fella, associate editor of Newsbusters. What a hero. This guy's got leg desk. Because if he doesn't have something other than the view to look at, I mean, they're on like the 10th floor. I hope the glass is reinforced because I don't know how you watch. God bless this man. I don't know how you watch The View all day long. And like, again, there's got to be like a literal flight risk. This guy, I hope the health insurance is good. I hope the mental health insurance is good. They should have a counselor on staff. I don't want to give them ideas over there at the old MRC. I think they're doing a great job, but they should have a counselor on staff for Nick Fondacaro in particular. There are other people who have to watch the other bullshit. I mean, I couldn't even imagine. There's somebody that, they have to watch the Sunday morning shows and CBS, all this garbage. They talk about a weekend. But this guy, this poor fella, who I've had on the show, who I need to have back on because I love him. I think he's awesome. This guy, he has to watch The View every day. He's got to watch it intently. Like I imagine he puts a headset on and he goes into a booth and he goes through a little Zen breathing exercise before the show comes on. Because I can't imagine, again, how you mentally can prepare yourself to watch such levels of stupidity and liberalism. And he sucks it up, pulls it together, and he watches that show. And then he probably has to take a Xanax or something. He's probably a heavy drinker. Actually, I don't think he drinks at all. But this guy, I couldn't do it. I say all that to say this. I couldn't do what Nick Fondacaro does in watching The View every day and reporting on it and clipping every single day, reporting on it, clipping on it, the specials. I don't even know what they do. He probably has to watch when they bring on shitty singers. Yeah, again, Jim Bob, I wonder what Nick's bar tab looks like. And he must have a strong, again, this guy, I point with my pen. I'm learning how to point at the right screen, the right direction. What a hero. He's probably a heavy smoker too. Like, I don't think he is. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he is. He's got like, I will say, and God bless him, that you can decorate your desk with whatever over there. He's got a really cool Lego collection on his desk because I'd imagine, like, I could not mentally handle watching The View every day and having to, and not just watch. It's one thing to like watch it in the background and be able to go to the bathroom. This guy's day, when The View starts, he's got to be there taking notes, taking data, clipping the shit. It's just him. He's an American hero. This man, Nick Fondacaro, is an American hero. And again, his work, if you're not following him, but how many TVs does he have to buy weekly because he smashes them? Look, again, you want to support the MRC, go like Heritage Foundation, MRC, they're my two favorite organizations. I'm a fellow at one and I'm a friend of the other. Because again, the research that comes out of the Media Research Center and Newsbusters is incredible. There's a guy, you should go follow him on X. Hold on here, because I got him pulled up here. And we'll see, here he is, just Nick Fondacaro right there. But like this guy, he's got a Lego set right on his, because this guy, that's what he does. That's what keeps him, they have a very high, I think it's on the 10th floor, 11th floor. And I just think, if I have to watch The View every day, full hour, you would have to reinforce that glass because I might just run into it, and then run into it and just plunk, and then and fall every day. I would imagine it at noon Eastern. I believe it comes on at 11 or 10 or whatever, the end of the hour. There's a watch to make sure that Nick isn't running into the glass from his desk. He just there. Oh, here he goes again. Because I don't know how he does it. That's a hero. My tip of the cap to you, sir, for being a hero. But he's not the only one. That's the thing. You go over to Media Research Center. These guys are like, when you see statistics on, and again, I'm not paid by these people. Somebody accused me of being paid by these people one day. I am going to be hosting some stuff for them on their cruise that's coming up in Norway. It's going to be awesome. But when you see statistics, so when you see these like Fox News, hold on, I want to show you this because like Media Research Center, Instagram. So we're going to go. So here we go. I want to show you this. This is Media Research Center. There are people. So there are people in their building. That's a real life Groundhog Day. It sounds horrible, right? Nick Fondacaro, he finishes watching every day. My nose is itching. Oh, it happens every day. He's watching The View every day, and then at like noon, they have to have like a watch, and they're like, somebody catch him today. Somebody catch him while he's running towards the glass. It's the 10th floor. Beautiful view, by the way. He's running towards it. We got to catch him. But so when you see these graphics, and they get repurposed, by the way, on Fox News all the time. But you can go over it again. I as the media fellow for strategic communication at the Heritage Foundation, I go to Media Research Center because they have poor. They don't pay these people enough. Research associates and editors that go and they have to watch all of the coverage and they do the studies. So this here just alone, it's official 2024 coverage, worst in history. 2024 Democratic coverage. 78% positive for the Democrat, 15% positive for Trump. And that's again, including ABC, CBS, and NBC. They watch every story and rate them positive or negative. Every single story that comes through, they rate them positive or negative. And they go and report on this. And then you'll see this stuff on Fox News with a different graphic. They'll make it look like Fox, and then very tiny on the bottom, they will say, Media Research Center. Here you go. PBS guest. This is from the other day. Again, someone in that building, someone in that Media Research Center building has to watch and listen to NPR and PBS. Somebody is watching every episode of PBS's NewsHour and taking notes. All right, to see that there's 173 liberal-leaning guests. This is what is this from the time period of? Is it to show me full study link in our bio? Okay, well they changed the link, so I won't go take a look at it now. But like, Media Research Center does all of these things again. You'll see these graphics all day long, and then they've got there's David Bozell. Look at that sexy picture. Worst media take of the week. They do that. I mean, they've got a hell of a staff over there. And Justine. Cover up. Here we go. Left-wing media. When was this? From a week ago. Cover up. Left-wing media gloss over Biden's mental decline bombshells. The total coverage, an entire week since the story had broken, total, across everyone, 7 minutes. 7 minutes. And again, this is, I want you to just think of the undertaking, because they've got research associates over there that do nothing but watch these shows. Again, I hope the health insurance is good, especially the mental part, because they are watching every ABC, every CBS, every NBC, and every PBS news program, and then counting the seconds that certain stories are covered. That is incredible. Again, Brent Bozell, who is, I believe, joining the administration now, started this, and he was a great president for a while, and now David's taken over. But like, this is, I can't get enough. There you go. Introducing the new president, David Mazzella. See, look at that guy. Look at that guy. But these studies, these infographics that go up, and they do them a lot. Here you go. It's they do inflation studies as well. But they are, when you see media coverage, and Fox covers their work all the time. I'm looking for another graph. Oh no, they did not. The Last of Us goes woke. Oh, about the dad. Oh God. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, this is, maybe I'll get an MRC award one day. Who knows? Dream big, and maybe it'll come through for me. Biggest propagandist for conservative media, Tim Young. I would love to get that award if they're going to start making awards for conservatives. Biggest propagandist, Tim Young. Person who they should give awards out to their office. Person who didn't jump off the cliff today after watching The View, Nick Fondacaro. Again, I imagine you've got people who Sunday morning, there are folks who go to church in the morning, and these people have to get up. They go to night church or whatever they do, because I would hope that you would go to church after this. Right? There we go, Tammy Earls. That's right. Nick Fondacaro is a hero. I should just have like a 800 number down here. If you want to donate to Nicholas Fondacaro, his health insurance, as he watches The View every day and clips it. There's a boy in need out there, and his job is to watch The View every day. And his name is Nicholas Fondacaro. And he needs your help, because he's out there doing God's work. I'm just doing this because I like him, because I'm not watching that shit. Again, this is why I like Media Research Center, because look, it makes my job easy. I've been quoting their stuff for years. Because they do the work, they do the heavy lifting for conservatism, they do the heavy lifting on media, they do the work where we say, it's easy to say the media is liberal. And then it's like, oh, if you go over to MRC and Newsbusters, you like, no, it's like provable. I deserve it, Tony. I'm not on stage right now, though. I deserve a conservative award. I want like a lifetime. Before I'm 100 years old, maybe somebody could give me a lifetime achievement award. Like, what does Tim Young Troll of the Year? I won 2 years in a row when Getter gave out Getter awards. I won Troll of the Year. So put that feather in my cap, my Expos cap. I'm representing Quebec tonight. All right, let's go back to my 35-minute rant on. Tune in for the 5-minute commentary on the news of the day. Stick around for a 35-minute rant on how Tim is worried that Nick Fondacaro is going to plummet to his death after watching The View. Hey, look, if I'm not cracking you up, I'm going to crack myself up. Here we go. Whoopi Goldberg has a pocket constitution, and she held it up and claimed that Trump's power of pardoning is unconstitutional. Here we go.
So if you want to know how all this really lays down, there's a little booklet you can get from the ACLU. It's called The Constitution of the United States of America.
Oh, you can get it from the ACLU. Suddenly Whoopi knows what the Constitution is. Right? Isn't it a cool hat? So I have a problem with hats. As you guys might see when I pull up Fox News, I get those targeted ads, and it's like New Era and hat ads. It's I get them all. Anytime I see cool hats on clearance, I have a very large head. I have a 7 3/4 sized head. So anytime I see a cool hat, I buy it. I have about 300 hats downstairs because I have a problem. So here we go. Here Whoopi Goldberg has found a pocket constitution, ladies and gentlemen. Now she doesn't know how to read, but the first step is finding it. And I would imagine the ACLU copy of the Constitution probably has some edits in it. And it's like getting the Lego Bible.
When you want to know, does this pass the smell test? All you got to do is check it out here.
The president can pardon anybody, so it does pass the smell test.
See, because there are things you don't do in America Constitution says it. It's not us saying.
She has no fucking idea what's in the Constitution.
It's saying We don't do this in America. I get that your whole family has figured out a way how to make money from the country. I get it. Okay. That's what you do. That's what you've always done. But what I don't like is that
she doesn't care that Biden did it. But you know, when Trump Trump isn't doing what Biden did. But Biden was so corrupt again, he pardoned his entire family to the point that we learned new Biden family members from the pardon.
Get pissy with other people who are doing the same thing. Either it's not good for everybody or it's good for everybody. Somebody make up their mind. We'll be right back.
That doesn't, again, I don't know what she just said there. I'm very confused by her words. She has a book and still clueless, yeah. Morgan McMichael, who is now a host or something over at the Daily Signal on problematic women. She used to go around and hand out pocket constitutions on college campuses for Turning Point. And people were like, she's like, would you like a constitution? And they're like, I guess so.
You know.
Here we go. So what does Whoopi do here? Here's the view from, okay, here is Nick Fondacaro. Again, this is how good this guy is. Which collection is bigger, my hat collection or the whiskey collection? Whiskey collection. I'm about 1,000 bottles. And I haven't drank in a while because I gotta, stop being a fatty. Here's Whoopi Goldberg talking about Biden pardoning Hunter. See if you can catch the difference.
So it is a president's prerogative. People can say, oh, why are you doing that? But that's what presidents do every time. They do it every time they pardon somebody. So I'm not sure why the pearl clutching is happening now, except that that's what folks want to do. But it seems kind of foolish. You kind of knew he was going to do it, given all that's happened, but maybe I'm just kooky.
Pleased with the hypocritical pearl clutching by this country. Eric Holder, I think, said it really well. No U.S. attorney would have charged this case given the underlying facts that have been investigated for 5 years.
When he was on the show, I told him I hoped he pardoned Hunter.
I remember.
You did. I remember.
I went to speak at the Biden Institute in Delaware like a month later. And we talked on the phone, and I told him I hoped he pardoned Hunter. I left him a handwritten note at his desk at the University of Delaware and told him I hoped he pardoned Hunter. Hunter, wow. Your dad has given you a great, great gift, the gift of freedom and taking this weight off your shoulders. Yeah.
What a bunch of hypocritical assholes. Like, honestly, like, how do you do this? How do you literally say, like, it's so bad? And here's Alyssa Farah, who used to be comms for Mike Pence.
The rest of his life. So I hope that this goes both ways.
Yay! Two things, because I respect it as a parent. I understand why he would do it, but I wonder to understand why lie about it for so long.
I'd stop calling it a lie.
Okay,
and he can do whatever he wants to until his time is up.
I don't like that president. Donald Trump's about to be president.
Well,
the presidency should be bigger than his feelings.
It should be, but
he's a very small man.
This is
Again, note the difference. See if you can note the difference between these liars on The View. They are. Why did I click that? It's wonderful when Biden does it, but it's terrible. But it's terrible when Trump pardons anybody. What a complete clown show. Okay. Let us go through here. I want to go through because I have not watched my own video of going through with Brandon Gill. I watched What's in Your Office? There's a new show that I'm doing called What's in Your Office. I look incredibly fat in this. I'm very excited this video, and then the one when I have to edit myself and I have a mustache in this too. I want mustache for a week. I don't go back to snorting. Yep, off of 18-Year-Old at Four Seasons. By the way, I was before we get into how chonky I am at the Daily Signal here. I was at One America the other day. I did Chanel Rion's show over at One America, and I was in the green room. and they had a hard copy of the Hunter Biden laptop. So they like had printed it. Somebody printed it out and published everything that's in the Hunter Biden laptop book. They offered to let me take the book home, and I was like, TSA is going to stop me with this thing. And the laptop book, so somebody had really gone through it. It looked like it was very well used, again, in a green room. And like it like, you know, when you have like a big binding book, sort of like this monster back here, when you have a book like that, and you open it a lot, it like bends to like the page that's open to the most. And you put it down and it opened to like the porn of Hunter Biden having sex with a hooker. And so I took it into the studio with me with Chanel Rion, who is a wonderful human being. And I smacked it on the table and I go, you might want to put a camera or monitor the men that are in your green room, because somebody's been using this book a little too much in the middle there. And so the producers are going to keep an eye out for whatever creep is in there with that. Predator was definitely her best movie, Whoopi Goldberg. All right. So here I am. I want to go back to this. Here I am looking very fat, to the point that my friends were like, have you let yourself go? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, just look alone. Hold on. Look at that face. Look at that face right there. Look at how, I mean, what if I dropped 15, 20 since then? My face is like, I mean, I look like a different human being right now. Tune in for the commentary, for 3 minutes of commentary on politics, then 35 minutes of Tim Young being worried about Nick Fondacaro at Media Research Center's mental health, watching The View, and then another 20 minutes of Tim Young talking about how fat he was 3 weeks ago. All right, here we go. I'm going to watch. I do have great skin. Thank you. It also helps that I have these very warm LED lights on either side of me. This is live, Shuck. Hello. But this is not over here. Look at that. What? I didn't realize I had a polka dot monster behind me. What is going on back there? Woof. Look at this. Looks like a character from I Thought I Was Bad. You know, actually, come to think of it, I think, you know, I was worried about my weight in this. Everybody else in here looks like there's nobody thin in this. I just kind of blend in. It's Korean products here. Here we go. Did you know I'm a contributor at the Daily Signal? Who knew? All right, here we go. Here I am. Being fat at the Daily Signal.
This is the first episode of What's in Your Office, where we take you inside the offices of people who impact all of your lives. This is the first one of these that we've done, so we're going to kind of wing it and just see where it goes. Follow me.
This was a good idea, signing the book. Let me tell you something. Not my idea. Somebody was like, you should sign the book. We had 2 producers with us, and we just used a random other page. Like, we didn't go in order, because why would I be respectful of someone's sign-up book?
Let's go check out Congressman Gill's office.
I want one of those, by the way.
Congressman, what's going on, man?
Good to see you. Thanks for coming out.
You normally just let people walk clean into your office like this,
We're
right?
open to everybody.
I just learned that you have access to the Library of Congress and can just bring books up.
Yep, you can. So you can get extra books that they have. They've got rows and rows of them. You can see Boris Johnson's The Churchill Factor, some literature, some other forms of literature, Jefferson's Manual, Rules and Practice.
What's it like when you come into an office like this? Because again, 100 days ago, you come in, you got work to do. You don't just come in and take a break.
Right.
How do you even think to start designing what's in your office?
Can we just pause for a second here? What am I thinking with, number 1, fat? Number 2, what am I thinking with this mustache? What a mistake. Never again. See, everybody thinks Brandon Gill is a hottie that should be president. I know.
Are putting what's in your office.
And we hit the ground running immediately to get the president's agenda passed. So aesthetics came second, but we did make sure that we had the core things. We have the humidor right there.
That's the important part,
cigars.
actually. Yeah.
We've got our President Trump ashtray, which you can't really see it on there, but it is. And then we've got a little commemorative coin that the president gave me there.
Oh, this looks like a throwing star. Holy moly.
Isn't that neat?
This guy, I've seen a lot of challenge coins. This is,
yeah.
What camera do I put this to? This one? Look at that. That is
Isn't that beautiful?
I shouldn't
Most
even be
people have
holding
small
this.
ones.
That's Trump has these massive challenge coins. They're incredible. Also, man, I really have lost like 20 pounds since this video. But no, why does everybody look so pale white? Because we use natural light in here. Because we didn't have. Do you see right now? Hold on. Now look at this. Look again. Look at that fat face. And look where I am now. Look at this. My chin is more defined. Anyway, we have real warm. I have in this office. I have real warm LED lights, and in there we were just using natural light because it's natural. Hey, let me tell you something. You guys wish you could dress like me when I showed up to events. As you know, oh yeah, you don't dress up. Eat a dick. I dress how I want because I'm the best at what I do. Let's see. They can smoke cigars inside, but no one else can smoke anywhere. Well, you're gonna go tell somebody that they shouldn't be smoking a cigar? Go tell your congressman they shouldn't be smoking cigars inside. I don't care.
President Trump gets the big one. We got the pictures of the family on the wall.
Your baby, by the way. Trump says this all the time. Straight out of Central Casting. It is the most beautiful. You have the most beautiful child.
And then we have the baby toy.
Oh, see, this is the important.
So the baby travels with us whenever we're in session. This little piggy book, she likes that. You can kind of move it around.
You know what's weird is I think Nancy Pelosi has that same book. That's what she reads for fun. What's your favorite part of being here so far? Is it the view? Do you have a decent view? Like
we've got a view of Cannon right there. It's pretty good for a freshman, you know.
Listen, I'm going to ask questions that you may not want to answer. What's like in there? If I pull out your drawer right now, what do you got in there?
This is
it private? What do you got in there?
Let's see what we got.
Here we go. This is the good stuff. Oh, yeah. Pens and
papers that we're working on.
And somebody loses their AirPods, so you have two sets of them. Right. Is that the?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm on the House Doge subcommittee, and Marjorie gave us some pretty cool
Doge tumbler.
Cool tumblers, yeah.
Can you show me some of these people out here, and then because this is the cool secret stuff. Make sure you guys get a shot of those toys. You have Jesus keeping the ducks in a row for Easter. That's a big one. And then you have more books from the
more books from the Library of Congress there. And then we've got pictures all over the walls here. And these were given to me by my predecessor. And they're all from different parts of the district. A dam that's in the district with some kids, looks like play. I guess you could play back in the day next to it.
This was really fun, by the way. He's a really cool guy.
And some other settlement stuff. Really neat.
And a picture of yourself, just in case people don't know.
In case they don't know.
So. Do you have signed photos in the desk in here? Do you have that? Do you do that?
Not yet.
Because I've been trying to get one from Jasmine Crockett. I see these seals in every office, and they're pretty standard from like each state. Do you just get them when you come in here, or is it like a place you order from, like Congressional Depot?
Most people have them. I think that we got them whenever we came in.
Good work with NPR and PBS, and your work pulling out old tweets of people.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, hopefully it seems like it made a pretty big impact because we're going to be getting a bill in the next few weeks from the White House to claw back funding for both NPR and PBS.
I'm glad you did,
Republicans and conservatives have been talking about for decades. We're finally going to be able to do, thanks to President Trump.
Congressman, I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out.
And I'll buy dinner next time you're. Wait, I can't. That would be bribery.
No, you can't. That's right. You're not
allowed to.
So
you have to pay for me every time we hang out in person.
That's a great deal for you.
You know, it always is. All right, I'm gonna go raid your fridge. There has to be good food in
here. You know what's really good is I make a joke about food and where your snacks are, and I'm the fattest I've ever been.
I'm gonna go hunt around without the cameras.
Somewhere.
I'll go through their desks. Did you get the Celsius earlier?
Yes, sir. I did.
You know, you can trade with other offices the snacks. Mm-hmm. And these, do you have one down here? It's from Wesley Hunt's office.
There we go. Good.
Which we're going to go up to. And
by the way, I sent one of his staffers to go trade for food in Wesley Hunt's office when we were there. He does not have an auto pen. He does not. I have that same baby Jesus. Hey, thanks, Chinese spy balloon. I really do. And look, we've got one that's in the hopper right now with Nicole Shanahan. We're doing like dozens of these. And then like this was kind of a pilot that we did. And it was fun. So there we go.
I'll let you know.
That's great.
Dude, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I'll let you get back to work, man. Thanks for doing this.
Bye.
Isn't that cool? I really enjoyed doing that. I really like him. I like him as a congressman. I like him as a human being. His family's awesome. And I do not like what I looked like in there. And I won't be doing a mustache ever again. I don't know what I was thinking with the mustache, but never again. Never again. Guys, it's been a great time hanging out with you all as always. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. I know sometimes the numbers are a little bit down because I'm out doing real things during the week. Oh, here we go. Hold on. What did it say? I was saying that this is again about the cigars. I was saying that because in 2007 they banned smoking in Congress and then jails and public places. I'm willing to bet everyone in Congress smokes cigars inside the building. Yes, they do. But Brandon Gill and a few other people might smoke cigars, and they do not tell people that they can't smoke cigars. So, and they didn't make those rules. So anyway, there you go. Folks, a great show today. I'm glad you got to hang out with me. Let's throw up some prayers for Nick Fondacaro at the MRC. And I'm glad you were all here. I'll see you tomorrow night. I've got a great guest tomorrow night. I got one of my favorite human beings on the planet tomorrow night. Actually, you know, here's... I want to give you a little preview tomorrow night because I am such a big fan. If there are things that I'm a fan of the Heritage Foundation, I'm a fan of a lot of the products over there that they do over at the Heritage Foundation. But they've got a podcast called, I believe it's Problematic Women. And tomorrow night, I've got one of the. I like to bring them on here. There we go. We got a clip. Is this 13 days? This is 13 days. I don't know what they're talking about, but I have no idea what I'm going to pull up here. So forgive me if they. So you never know. These women go off the rails because they're problematic. But this tomorrow night, I've got the one. I've got the one. I got this one. This one's been on the show about why do they all look like it's Easter Sunday? We don't know. But I've got the Dawn. Here we go. Virginia Allen, who is the Dawn right here. She's got the cape on or whatever it is there. It looks like she murders people with that outfit. And then there's Elise. And then there's Crystal down here, another great human. And then this one, Elizabeth, who tried to get me sick one day because she had a very bad cold when we went to meet J.D. Vance at the Heritage Foundation. And she sat next to me and then later was like, yeah, I feel like garbage. I've been very sick because she tried to murder me with her illness. So I don't know what this is, but we're going to give you a preview of this is Problematic Women from 2 weeks ago. The left warns against dressing MAGA. This is Problematic Women. I'm going to comment along because I have a dream in life, and it is to be on an outnumbered type show. Thanks, Doing Dave Things. We're going to hang out here for another couple seconds. I want to be on a Problematic Women episode with the ladies here, and I want to like outnumbered, but actually it would be me outnumbering them. I don't. And tomorrow night we've got Virginia Allen on, but here we go.
God forbid.
God forbid
I
you
think
look like
it's
a
just
MAGA
you
woman.
Today, Virginia, in the sheath dress.
Wait,
yeah.
how?
I leaned into the sundress
about
today.
What is she? I didn't even know about what defines a sheath dress.
I mean, just think about what Melania or Ivanka or Caroline Levitt wear. Okay. Basically what this is.
AKA classy.
Yes. Traditional, classy, feminine.
Yeah.
Take your pick of descriptor. But what this is like a...
This seems catty.
Someone in their audience wrote in a question, fashion advice column. They're like, I'm so worried that people are going to think I'm a Trump supporter if I wear a sheath dress and a blazer or whatever it might be, right? And so this whole article unfolds, and it's this entire thing about, these conservative women are dressing in sheath dresses and blazers and this, that, and the other thing. They're putting on lipstick and mascara.
I don't understand any of this conversation at all. I don't understand a single word of it.
And they have their hair done. You might get confused with being a Fox News host if you own a curling iron, God forbid. It literally, the advice given, show up messy. Instead of curling your hair or doing your hair,
go ahead.
Throw it up in a bun. Don't brush it.
That's what I say. That's what I say. I say throw it up in a bun. You show up looking a damn mess, and you wear it. You put your hair in a bun. I agree. Good work, Crystal. Let's keep going.
This is literal advice from the New York Times. I'm like, what is happening here? We now have confirmed what keeps the left up at night, and it is strong, classy, conservative women. Full stop.
Well,
you know what keeps me up at night? Not that.
No, it's because all the liberal federal workers are unemployed now because of Doge. That's why they get to look messy and unkempt all day. So
what language is this?
Well, I'm like,
girl.
this
You're
is great.
Girl, I don't get it. So see this one? This one, she's the Dawn because she wears the cape over her shoulders. This one, Virginia Allen, she's the Dawn of the group. And then this is the social media one that does. She's the propagandist of the group. This is you gotta identify the characters, right? So the Dawn there, Virginia, Which, by the way, I'm just jealous that she has enough hair that she could donate a head of hair to me. I've got her on tomorrow, and I've had the other one, the propagandist there on the show. They each have their own characters.
Great guys out there. Hey, you see a nicely well-kept woman, she's probably conservative.
They call it like
That's very true, actually. I'll agree. So this is the first time I understand something that they people may think I'm a Trump supporter if I don't have blue hair and pit hair. That's very true. I don't think I've ever seen a Trump supporter with blue hair or pit hair. You don't smell like cat pee? What a gem. That Virginia Allen.
like MAGA face. I'm like, I just can't. I'm like, just because you throw on some mask.
This one is the one that tried to kill me with an illness. And she's a genius reporter, by the way. She's actually I think she's the brains of the group. And then this one, she's the brawn. So she's the one that'll beat you up. This one is the brains of the group. And then you got the Don over on the other side, and then the propagandist. I've now classified. I've classified the problematic one. Those are each of their problems. But this one tried to murder me, and also she's one of the best reporters. Actually, so both her and Virginia are two of the best reporters in the business, and Crystal's a great organizer in the whole thing. But like, I have nothing but positive things to say about these ladies. They scare me. In particular, this one who tried to kill me with disease once.
Mascara and own a tube of lipstick. You're all of a sudden a fascist.
Yeah, this is unreal.
Like, it's lost all sense of the meaning of the word. But thank you.
Better
Next.
advice for this woman would just be wear what you want. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Anyone can wear anything. Your style doesn't define your political.
I need to get a teacup. Is that what this show's missing? I've got a garbage. I always drink out of my garbage Dunkin' Donuts tumbler I got that does not, it's not dishwasher safe. So I've been drinking lead and asbestos out of this for the past 2 months. Got it from the Walmart. And then my morning coffee that I have left over, iced coffee.
Views, just do what you want and don't worry what people say. But
the two in the middle are genius reporters. Then this is a great organizer, and then this is a great social media person.
Instead, we get we're the messy bun.
It's a good thing that people don't actually listen to the New York Times anymore.
Mm-hmm.
At least for fashion advice. That's crazy. Well, once in college, a few months ago, actually. Oh wait, no, that was a year ago. Wow. I was at a bar with my friends, and I was wearing Doc Martens, and someone from an a cappella group asked me if I was gay, and
I need to have her. I'm going to bookmark this. So hold on. I need to have Elise McHugh on my show again and then ask her about this. I just want to ask about this stuff. Elise is a gem, but I was at a bar in Doc Martens, and somebody in an a cappella group asked me if I was gay.
Bar with my friends, and I was wearing Doc Martens, and someone from an a cappella group asked me if I was gay, and I was like, what do you, and I was like,
the Don is offended by that.
What is giving that impression to you? She goes, you're wearing Doc Martens. So you know what, I'm gonna ask Vanessa from the New York Times, can I wear Doc Martens without someone thinking I'm a lib who's gay?
I own Doc Martens because I got them on clearance once for $20.
It's like I'd love audience feedback on this though too. Like, what's a good follow-up question for this woman who writes this fashion advice column at the New York Times?
Yeah.
Who received a question, if I wear a sheath dress, how do I not look like a MAGA woman?
What would you ask her?
What would you ask her?
What do you want her to weigh in on?
What women?
I would love to be a part of this conversation. I'm just doing this because I would love to be a part of this conversation as the, right? I would love to be a part of it. Could you imagine me in the middle of it? This is my plea to the Daily Signal. Put me in the middle of this. This is all I want. I've interviewed these women individually. Actually, I haven't talked to the one that tried to murder me with an illness. But you put me in the middle of this. Just put me in the middle of this podcast. Problematic women.
Owned, Black owned, LGBT owned business can I buy my sheath dresses from?
Find one.
This just makes me so annoyed. I'm like, come on, it's business professional. That's not MAGA. That's just business professional.
It's just looking classy.
Back in the day, for us millennials, I think you brought this up a couple weeks ago.
Oh, this was what you wore to the bars.
Okay,
enough. I need a Tylenol. All right. Well, listen, that's the 5. It would be like the 5 or outnumbered. You just put me, I'm telling you, Daily Signal. Put me in the middle of problematic women. Let me at them. That sounded creepy, but you know what I mean. You want the numbers to go up. You put Tim Young in the middle of problematic women. You give him a headache. That's all. That's the show for tonight. It's been great hanging out with you guys. I've had a great time. Make sure you go check out. Actually, their podcast is fantastic. Again, between that and MRC's work and everybody else in the business here that we've mentioned tonight, make sure you go support all these people. Brandon Gill, I want to thank him for doing that interview with me. And thank you all for being here tonight. As always, I will be back tomorrow night. We're going to do this regularly again. I'm sorry that I've been MIA. What a dick I am. But hold on. Before we go, one fantastic little nugget came through from our friends at good old Kalshi. Folks, will Elon Musk leave Doge? Wow. Elon has said that he's leaving Doge. Kalshi had it predicted. They said that he would leave before June 16th. It was there. Before July 5th, it was definitely there. It was at 97%. It was all Kalshi predicted that Elon was leaving Doge. These predictive markets, I'm telling you right now, they are on it. They're fun to participate in, and they are on it. If you get a chance, go over to kalshi.com/Tim Young. I'm going to see what else we've got here. Politics. This is wild. So it was up there. It was above 50%. At one point, they actually had it up around 90% in April that it was going to be before July 15th. But you can get in on this. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. The predictive markets had it right again. Kalshi had it right again. Kalshi.com/Tim Young. Incredible. Dylan, best idea I heard of all day was me joining the problematic women. Again, this is another interesting one, and we'll cover this more. Who will be the Democrat nominee in 2028? Will it be Gavin Newsom? Will it be Ocasio-Cortez? I mean, there's a lot here. Pete Buttplug, Josh Shapiro, Stephen A. Smith. His name is up there. Wes Moore's up there. Kamala Harris will not be it. Gretchen Whitmer, Bashir. All these names are up there. Again, you can get involved. It's fun. If you want to have some safe, fun playing of the political game, the way to do it, kalshi.com/Tim Young. You can get involved. And also, I mean, they've pivoted. You can do sports too. Fun stuff. There's nothing but fun stuff over on kalshi.com. And again, no tax on tips become law this year. 85% chance according to predictive markets, which means, yes, it's probably going to happen because these markets are always pretty much correct. That being said, I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. I love y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. And tomorrow night, we've got the dawn of the problematic women. Virginia Allen's going to be joining me tomorrow night. I'm so excited about that. She's such a gem. All those, they're all nice people, but she's like the kindest person. I feel bad. Sometimes I make jokes around here sometimes, and she's just a nice person. So we'll see. We'll see how I behave tomorrow night. She's one of the best reporters in the business, a great colleague. And she comes on my show, and I'm just a terrible person. I'm ashamed of myself. I am preemptively ashamed of myself. Just like Biden preemptively pardoned himself, I'm preemptively ashamed of my behavior tomorrow night with that gem of a human. Guys, thanks for watching tonight again. Like, share, subscribe. If you're on one of those platforms that likes, shares, and subscribes, hit the retweet button if you're on the old X. It's been a great time hanging out with you. And go to kalshi.com/Tim Young and also veebsapp.com. We will talk with you all soon. See you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, with my special guest, Virginia Allen, the dawn of the problematic women. She doesn't even know that yet, but that's her title.